Hi, good morning, good evening, as per your time zone. I'm Kumkum Sharma from iZenBridge, and I'm back again on my Friday evening. And we'll discuss many things today, but the main topic is Agile Team Facilitation. So, guys, let's not waste time anymore. And I would like to welcome you all in the live open session, episode 12 by iZenBridge. And today we have Janani with us. Janani she is a famous lady. I don't think so anybody needs the introduction of Janani, but she's the master of Agile Team Facilitation. She'll help us to understand the importance of Agile Team Facilitation in Agile and Scrum teams. And I have my colleague Seema as well with me.
Hi.
So, ladies, I would like to welcome you both and thanks for joining me on this show. And we'll discuss a lot of things about agile team facilitation. Before that, Janani, I would like to know more about you and your role and what makes you, come into this agile team facilitation trainer role.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Kumkum and Seema, and giving me this opportunity to discuss about a topic that is very close to my heart. I am an enterprise agile coach by passion and by profession. So I celebrate every day because I'm getting something to do what I believe. It's very much beyond my profession, it's my passion, and very much connected to my purpose as well. As an enterprise agile coach and a trainer, the facilitation and coaching becomes my best companions. I don't think I could even survive without doing facilitation and coaching as a coach or as a trainer. So that's why I decided to become a trainer in authorized trainer in Agile Team Facilitation. It gives me much satisfaction because by helping people to do great facilitation, I'm also helping people to improve their performance. Yeah, that's about me and what I do.
Perfect. Sounds great, Janani. And I can relate because I was there in your last ATF session. So I can relate how your soul is connected with this role and responsibility of the Agile Team Facilitator. So okay, so Janani, I have a couple of questions for you. I'll ask my questions one by one, and Seema also has few questions. And these questions we got from our audience, the people whom we are interacting on a daily basis. They are sharing these questions with us. But I would like to share with our audience, guys, the agenda is driven by you. So your questions are, on a high priority. You can ask your questions if you're watching from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Just post your questions in the comment section. We'll add your questions, and Janani will definitely answer your questions. The main topic today, we are discussing Agile Team Facilitation. If you have something else, feel free to ask me, Janani, Seema. Will definitely answer your questions. But first, Janani, I would like to ask you a question. So, can you give us brief about what is this Agile Team Facilitation?
Awesome, awesome. So again, facilitation, as I mentioned, is something very close to my heart. I have brought some slides about facilitation, but before that, I would like to share a nice story about facilitation because I got into this beautiful space of facilitation and coaching before I even know the real meaning and the importance of facilitation. This was about 12 years ago, and then I was a senior developer. And I was not actually doing much of facilitation as in my career. But, Kumkum, that the servant leadership and all these things are in my heart. So I was serving a Toastmaster club. Toastmaster clubs are very much popular in India. So I was serving as a vice president education in one of these Toastmasters club. And we had a challenge, though Toastmasters Club is a great platform for people to excel in their communication and leadership, but membership was a challenge. People were not attending much of the club meetings. So we really have to do something about that. So we created a circle. It was a group. We called it the circle. And the name was From Fear to Fire, which means it was a platform for people to come and openly talk about their fears in public speaking, as well as how they want to and their aspirations about setting the stage on fire. Okay. So my role was the facilitation. It was vital because now these people in this circle were coming from different backgrounds, different industries, different seniority levels. Definitely, majority of them were much more experienced in public speaking than me, which was not a barrier for me to be a facilitator, because facilitator is more of a content neutral leader, right? So what I did was creating a platform in this circle, creating a platform so people don't feel offended to come. It is more inviting and more warm for them to walk into this circle and be open around their fears. That is one aspect of facilitation. And second is that also going beyond that, building that trust so they can rely on each other and be open on their fears and work together certain strategies to set the stage on fire. So as I mentioned, so this from fear to fire is not a linear process. It's more of a creative process, because discuss on your fears, talk about the aspirations, and come up with some commitments. Okay, how we want to get there. So creating that process was so much important. I think I really enjoyed that facilitation, the process, and that was my start, I think, to do the facilitation. So let me share my screen and summarize this story through a facilitation. Okay, let me share my screen and let me know if you can see the screen. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So as I mentioned, the facilitation is a process. Is a process. We are taking through the group or the team through a process so they can connect, so that they can connect together, they can collaborate to brainstorm ideas, come up with creative solutions, and most importantly, sometimes we get a lot of creative ideas, creative solutions, but we are not making important choices. So making those choices and then finally commit and celebrate those commitments. So that is a process. When you say a facilitation is a process, that is what I mean. But that's not all. Very importantly, facilitation about this is process, and as well as creating a container, creating a structure so people can have this psychological safety, you have this trust, and very importantly, set some agreements, some working agreements. How do we work in this meeting? How do we work this in meetings more effectively? And time boxing. So facilitation in summary is about taking a group of people in a creative process so they can connect, collaborate, and make great commitments, and building that container so they have trust and psychological safety. Yeah. So I can move on, Kumkum, about talking more about the Agile team facilitation. Do you think we can go there like that?
We can go, but we have one question by Manoj. Would you like to answer the question first?
Yeah, let's look at his question. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to read, or you would like to read
Let
the
me
question?
let me see the question.
It's there in the screen. I'm a Scrum Master, 3 years experience. I want to become an Agile coach. Which training to do and which experience is needed for becoming the enterprise Agile coach?
Oh, wow. So, first of all, congratulations. You're already a Scrum Master and you have the experience and you have an aspiration to become an Agile coach. Okay. So, yeah, first of all, having the desire is a key to be a coach, because desire to serve people, desire to help people to clarify and solve their own problems is the first thing. There are a lot of trainings. I'm sure Kumkum, Seema can help you all. But first of all, try to understand, like, you are in a certain point as Scrum Master, and how you differentiate Scrum Master from a coach. Scrum Master is for serving a team where an agile coach will be serving multiple teams. So definitely your skills could be, you have to enhance your skills. So more about the Scrum and the Kanban and this framework knowledge, and more about, you can talk about even safe. Right now safe is a very popular framework. You need to have that competency on frameworks, but that's not all, right? Because you are going to be a change agent, you're going to be an ambassador of change. So those areas like facilitation is essential. And then the coaching experience. Coaching is not about problem solving. Coaching is about creating shift in people so they can solve their own problems, right? So trainings related to frameworks, which give you in-depth understanding about different frameworks in agile space, skills related to facilitation and coaching, and also certain skills on change management, strategy, domain knowledge would really help you. So yeah, and I'm sure Kumkum and Seema can help. What are those specific ones that you can do?
So I think you're right, Janani. And from my side, I mean, yeah, it's a very long path, and there are a lot of certification. So if you're, pursuing your agile journey, of course, the first level is Scrum Master, and you can go for any CSM, PSM, which you're already done, and then, of course, ATF, the Agile Team Facilitation, to understand the facilitation more and more, and there is ACC, agile coaching certification. So ATF and ACC, the both certification is from IC Agile, and then there is a certification for Enterprise Agile Coach as well with them. So yeah, I think that's a complete answer for your questions. If you have follow-up questions, you can ask, and we'll wait for some time. So, Seema, would you like to add something here?
Yeah, I would like to add that when you do a certification, practice it. Like if you are doing agile team facilitation, then practice it. When you practice, then you get some idea, and that is the right time to get to another certification. You can add that experience to the next level certification, which can give you a real value.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds really great, Seema. So, Janani, we'll go back
Yeah,
to the same
yeah,
discussion, but
same
quickly,
discussion. Yeah.
I just would like to answer one more questions. Just Raj asked us, how difficult is PMI ACP? I'm PSPO certified already. So, Raj, Seema can answer your questions more wisely, but one thing would like to share, if you'll study, if you'll focus on the training, then PMI ACP is easy. If you'll not study, you'll not give time, then it would be difficult. Then, Seema, now your vision.
Yeah, so Raj, you are already PSPO certified, so you know the basic of the Scrum framework. But when we talk about PMI ACP, it's not limited to only the Scrum framework and the product ownership rule. It's a certification for agile team practitioners. Means you become the practitioner of different frameworks, and also it includes some flavor of team coaching and all. So one thing I would like to say that this certification is more based on your practical experience. No bookish knowledge will is going to test it. And so if you will follow the course, if you understand the concept, and of course if you are planning for PMI ACP, you have some experience. So if you relate your experience with the content of the PMI ACP, I don't think this is a difficult exam. But yes, for PMI certifications you need to prepare well.
Perfect, perfect. So, Jerry asked a very interesting questions, and I think there will be very different vision from all of side. Okay, so why we require agile when we have normal project management techniques? So, okay, I'll go first, and then you both can decide. Okay, so of course, it depends on the which organization and what kind of approach organization is using. If the organization is fine with the waterfall method and then project management techniques, no, I mean, you can ignore agile, but we can't ignore this aspect. Even PMP has agile now. Okay, so now, Sima.
There is a reason that PMP has agile because now we are living in a dynamic environment. If we take the example of COVID, overnight our business situation got changed and we had to adapt to work in the virtual environment. Now we are totally in the virtual environment and every member is working from home. So it's need and my mindset to adapt the things immediately when it needs. So more and more organizations are moving to agile because we have to see that whatever we have planned, we may not execute according to our planning forever during the life cycle of the project. After some level of execution, we need to see that if we are going in the right direction. So if we need to see frequently if we are going in the right direction, we need to be agile. That's why we require agile when we are doing project management, because project management means you are doing something unique, you are doing something which is first time, and it has many uncertainties. So if if some new developments comes in your path, you need to change your direction also. That's why agile is coming.
Perfect. Sounds great, Seema. Thank you very much. And I think, Jerry, you got the answer. And if you have any follow up questions, you can post. And without wasting any more time, let's jump into the Agile Team Facilitation space again.
Awesome, awesome. So let's see whether you can still see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, awesome. So we spoke about that the facilitation is about this process as well as creating a container so people can work together, they connect, collaborate, make creative solutions, but not stopping there, make important choices and make commitments. That is facilitation in a nutshell. And what is this agile team facilitation and what is this ATF certification workshop, right? So you're going to learn, if you join the agile team facilitation, you're going to learn a lot of things about the facilitation, designing facilitation sessions, agendas, process, and so many things. But that is about what. But let's start from why. Let's start from why you need to attend this kind of a workshop, or why the whole need of agile team facilitation. A simple answer, I would say performance, because I hope that you know there is a person who's very much aligned to the role of facilitator, that is Scrum Master. Of course, facilitation is not only done by Scrum Master, we will get there, but as a Scrum Master, Scrum Guide nicely explained, Scrum Master is an impediment remover. He's a facilitator, he's a coach, he's a change agent, helping team to be more effective and practice Scrum. Okay, so if you look at what is the importance of existence of a Scrum Master, team effectiveness or team performance. So facilitation is one aspect. So facilitation is very much influential. A proper facilitation is very much influential for performance. Okay, performance of the team, because performances are not hardly comes through compliance, right? Performance are coming through important choices and important decision makings done by the team. It's not coming from compliance or a push way of working, but it comes from the consensus, the decision making, and making important choice about how we work together more effectively. Now, when it's come to decision making, I have again a nice story to share. If you look at this key, okay, I hope you can see this key. This key could have actually changed a strategy in the a very disastrous, tragic event in the history. That is the Titanic, right? The Titanic disaster could have avoided by this key, but unfortunately, it wouldn't. If you look at the story behind this key, now a last moment decision, a last moment decision, and weak decisions took around this last moment decision developed it into a major course of Titanic strategy. Okay, disaster. Sorry for the typo here. And it created a disaster. So the story is this key was owned by a person, he's a second level officer called David Brea, and he was in charge of looking after the keys which opened a cabinet containing the binoculars. Okay. So what happened was the last moment, the last moment before the Titanic was sailed, Mr. Blair was replaced by another more senior sailor. But last moment, it was taken with hasty decision making. Due to this hasty decision making, with less preparation, accidentally they forgot to hand over the keys. So what happened? The crew couldn't really look for the icebergs. They have to use their eyes, not binoculars, to see the iceberg. So they didn't see it way before they could take any action. So you see how much important decision making is about, right? So facilitation is highly influential towards making decision making. Okay. So if you look at what you get to learn in the workshop, this Agile Team Facilitation, there are three main learning objectives. I may not go into details, but will help you to understand what you will get to learn in these three objectives. Please feel free to share any questions, and Kumkum, please feel free to pause at any point of time if you see any related questions, and we can take as we go on. So the first objective is about knowing agile team facilitation, because for many people it could be a new term. We have heard about training, we have heard about mentoring, we have heard about coaching, but is there a role called facilitation as well? Yes, definitely. So it's important to understand why and what is facilitation. So we talk a little bit about the facilitation and who is a facilitator. Who could be a facilitator in your team? Anyone, because anyone would run meetings. It's not only confined to a Scrum Master or product owner. Your tech lead, your team lead, or developer would run a meeting. So facilitation could be done by anyone. But when you do the facilitation, what would be your role? Okay, that's important. And the mindset, you have to have a mindset in a way that you have a genuine care about the people. Then only you can create this container, this process which are inviting, which are warm, and people feel open to get connected and start creating creative solutions. And then we're going to specifically about agile team facilitator, because he or she is special to a facilitator, because you are also now a agile role model. You could be a scrum master, you could be a product owner, or whatever the role you play. You also use your agile values and principles to drive more creative dialogues to emerge creative solutions. That is the agile team facilitator. And then the development path for agile coaching, because when you do facilitation, it's going very close to the coaching as well. So we're going to help you to connect the dots. Okay, you may start with a scrum master or your product owner, and you're working towards the you're working on facilitation. Then how you go to the next level, that is coaching also. So these are, as I mentioned, these are companions. If you are any of the agile team, these facilitation, training, coaching are your best companions, I would say. So that is the first learning objective in this workshop. Okay. And the second learning objective is about design and conduct facilitated session. Now, if you look at, the emphasis is so much is given to the designing and conducting facilitated sessions. There we're going to talk about two areas: knowing 7 P's of facilitation, and then how you really design a facilitated session using these 7 P's. Just to look at these 7 P's, which are like quite essential to design and to run a facilitation. So 7 P's are the purpose, the people who are attending to the workshop, the product, what is the end outcome or end output of this particular meeting or the session, the place where do you have it, is it face to face, is it remote, right? And what are the possible probable issues. Definitely, like not only the technological challenges. Well, of course, we have technological challenges, but more than that, what are the challenges or the issues that we might face when the right people are not there, when people are not talking, or when they are not coming to agreements, the probable issues and practical tools we can use to enhance this collaboration, enhance the participation. And very importantly, to connect these dots from purpose to the people to the products, what is the process that you follow, which is what we talk about. So, understanding 7 P's is so much important for you to design, creating that structure, creating that process, designing is important, and then also to do the real facilitation of the workshop as well. I might take a pause at this point and see if there are any questions, related questions. Let me also see.
Yeah, Janani, we have one related questions. You want me to add the questions now?
Please. Yeah.
Okay. How facilitator is different from project integrator? What is done by project management integration manager?
Project management integration manager. I would like to have a little bit clarity on when you say integration manager, what does that mean? I wonder if Jerry can uh, respond. So maybe until Jerry can respond, first of all, as I mentioned, facilitator facilitation is something specific to that particular event, that meeting, or the session. Okay, so facilitator is the person who drive. He's the content neutral leader. He's a leader or he's a task leader in that session. Anyone, a project manager or this integration manager or a product owner, Scrum Master can do that, because I'm talking about a role specific to that event who drives that meeting. Okay, so basically it's not confined to the project manager or project management integration manager. This is about driving the people through the start to making important commitments. I hope I'm able to give you a sensible answer.
Sounds great, Janani.
Okay.
So Jerry gave
And
you some clarification also. Is this similar to what ES do in the organization?
enterprise ES means enterprise architects, enterprise agile coaches. So basically, if you refer to EA as an enterprise architect or enterprise agile coaches or someone, everyone needs to do facilitation, because usually you don't work alone yourself, you work with people. And you need to get people together to make important decisions. Regardless, whatever the role, you will be doing facilitation in your meetings. So, yes, anyone will have to do this. That's
Okay.
that.
So what I am understanding from, I think Jerry asked the very relevant questions, and I'm really, I mean, I got the many questions in my head after, reading this question. So that means no matters whether you are working in the agile environment or some other environment, the facilitation rule will remain the same, and they definitely, the rules you learn from agile team facilitation will add value whether you are integrator manager or the project manager or some other manager, because at the end you are the facilitator. You are conducting the meeting and facilitating the meetings, so whatever you learn in ATF will help you everywhere.
Everywhere. Well, that's a very important point that you brought in, and thanks, Jerry, also. In fact, it helps me in my conversations in my family also, right? I mean, everywhere the conversations happening, right? So even you are getting ready with your family to go on a trip and decide where to go, even you know how difficult it is, right? So even facilitation going to help there as well. So because we work with people, we are working with a network, so we make decisions with people, so everywhere it helps.
Perfect, perfect. That's great, Janani, and thank you, Jerry, for asking this question.
Yeah.
So, we have. Let's take. I mean, I'm diverting from the topic to topic. I think. Okay, let's finish the this, and then we'll go back to the PMI ACP follow up questions we have. So then, Seema will take in the after the slides. So let's finish the team facilitation journey first. So
Awesome.
Janani, you can start
Yeah.
the.
Right. And I truly appreciate Shuri's asking the questions because it shows his passion, right? And that is very much important to a facilitator as well, right? If the facilitator don't have a genuine care about the team, if he doesn't have the curiosity, right, of the what we are going to uncover through this meeting, he won't do a best. He won't be able to do the best of the meeting, right? So we were at talking about 7 P's of facilitation and the importance of designing. Now we told the second learning objective is more about designing and then conducting the facilitated session. So why designing is important, designing of a meeting, because designing happens before, right? You're designing a meeting by, it's about all the preparation that you are doing. So let's watch this video and then look at that. Okay, so Kumkum, let me know in case if you don't hear the sound.
Sure.
Can you hear the sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Franz, could you try to break those last please? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard. It didn't go through. So that's a plus side. Sorry. Try that one, really? Okay. Oh man, it didn't go through. All right. There's a room for improvement. All right. Let's see. So yeah. When we would actually show everything, we threw wrenches, we threw everything, even between through the kitchen sink after we threw the glass, and it didn't break. Weird reason it broke. I don't know why. We'll fix it in post.
Awesome. I hope, and now I'm back in the presentation. I hope you saw what happened. This was quite famous video, so you must have seen that. It was Tesla was demonstrating their bulletproof armor glasses, and you can understand how much impact could have been created if they were well prepared. Like, of course, we will face unexpected situations, but preparation is so much important. Think about, do you want to get embarrassed in front of your stakeholders in your sprint review without doing a proper preparation? Likewise, for any meeting, it's not only about sprint review, but any meeting, a proper preparation and giving emphasis on designing a meeting aligned to the purpose, aligning to the purpose why we have this meeting. So purpose could be different because people can have meetings for different purposes. Some purpose could be information sharing. Some purposes could be, I'm getting an echo. I hope now it's fine. Okay. So there are many purposes like information sharing, ideas generation, brainstorming, creating capabilities or competencies. Likewise, and taking feedback, quick feedback, right? Likewise, we have meetings for different reasons. So if you look at your daily scrum is about quick information gathering to do a replan your day aligned to the sprint goal, right? To create the synchronization around your sprint goal. So what did I do yesterday towards the sprint goal? What will I be doing towards my sprint goal? And what comes on my way, or what slows me down? So it's about quick information gathering to create transparency on where we be heading to the sprint goal. But that is quite different to your product roadmap planning meeting. That's the purpose is different. It's about, diverging different ideas and then converging to the priorities. That the purpose is different, and you need to design the session aligned to that purpose. And also looking at other factors we mentioned: who are the people, what are the end products, what are the possible issues. Likewise, designing the session becomes so much important. And especially, again, and very important, I hope you this picture is again quite familiar to you. This is a Council of Elrond. If you remember in the Lord of the Rings, you remember in this meeting, or the Council of Elrond, so the meeting, before they decide the ring must be destroyed, how much that argument, remember the argument that happened between these people? So that is required. Sometimes healthy conflicts are important because complex problems need creative solutions. Complex problems need creative solutions. So creativity can't be achieved through a very linear process. You can't have a step by step process to achieve the creativity, because creativity comes through emergence. Okay, so it is the facilitator's role, right? So this is a nice diagram which helps you to understand how a facilitator take a team from the mindset, the business as usual mindset, because like a daily scrum, it's just simple three inputs. You answer, okay, what did you do, what you'll be doing, what are your impediments, and you're going to another person. That is more like a business as usual. But if you want to tackling with a more complex or complicated problem solving, you need to have a creative solution. So as a facilitator, you need to take this person from a creative, from business as usual to creative zone. We also call it this grown zone, like people having conflicts and, disagreements. That's okay. That is also part of the process. And then very taking segues to converge, creating that shared understanding and making shared responsibility towards creative solutions. That's what we talk about in the second module, or the second learning objective. Okay. And the third is that, okay, designing. Now we are coming to, okay, you start understanding what is facilitation, why, the mindset, and all the structural elements. And then we talk about the designing part, the 7 Ps, and this process, creative process. And we are moving into designing and facilitating agile meetings. Now here we talk about these 5 events in Scrum, but not in terms of we are teaching in a certified Scrum Master or a PSM class or something, not about talking about these meetings, but you getting an experience of facilitating these meetings in different ways, like using different tools like liberating structures, or using Jamboards or Miro, or how do you create that connection, how do you create that collaboration, how do you make shared goals, and how do you create that shared responsibility. And very importantly, how much we plan, how much we design a meeting, things can go wrong, things can change. That's we have different type of personalities in your meeting. Some, no matter what, come late. Some, no matter what, have only negative comments, and they really don't agree with that. And some don't talk, some don't engage. Yeah, they have these personalities, but all are important in meetings, because end of the day, all are human beings, which we need everyone's participation to make a solid and sustainable commitment. So how a facilitator understand these group dynamics, how they understand these personalities, how you smoothly understand these challenges and take the team through these ups and downs, right? Sometimes how you mirror the inefficient behavior of the team, so they can understand, okay, this is not why we are here today, we are here to make more important commitments. So how you drive this, navigate the team through this process. And that is about designing and facilitating agile meetings. So the role of agile team facilitator is to craft those powerful dialogues in these agile events, right? In these agile events or any other meetings that you have, right? Craft these powerful dialogues to amplify the learning and emergence of creative solutions. As I mentioned, you simply can't ask questions and answer. Q&A sessions will not drive to creative solutions, because they have to be emerged through the group consensus, group dynamics, and they're working together. So that's the importance of agile team facilitator and the facilitation. And most importantly, in long run, in big picture, if you are in an agile transformation, you could be a scrum master, product owner, any leader who are driving agile transformation, you can get the real ROI, because, as I mentioned, transformation is a shift. It's not simply adapting to a process, it's a shift, and shift happens through important choices and commitments. So, this facilitator will work as like a gardener, right? You know, the gardener is have a genuine care to the plants, and he nourishes the garden, the plants, and he water, and you know the right the sunshine, the level of sunshine, and the fuel they need, and also understand when there are weed, right? So you need to cut out this the ego and resistance. How do you deal with artificial harmony? So like a gardener, he creates this atmosphere. He or she, the agile facilitator, can create this atmosphere so people can commit to creative solutions. In long run, this is the ROI that you are getting from agile team facilitation. And yeah, I'm really looking forward, because tomorrow I have a workshop on ATF with the global participation. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Yeah,
Perfect.
Kumkum, this is what I
Sounds
have to share.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's a wonderful vision, Janani, whatever you shared with us. And we have a couple of follow-up questions. And guys, if you have any questions, you can drop your questions. I'll take the one by one. So there is a long pending question. First, we'll take that. Seema. So Raj was asking about the PMI ACP, and now it's a follow-up questions.
Yeah, so I'm thinking to prepare and give exam in 14 to 20 days. Do you think it is right to do? I work as a pseudo PO and have basic knowledge of Scrum. See, if you have a basic knowledge of Scrum, so but you need to learn many things, because as I told that PMI ACP is not just about Scrum framework, and 14-20 days are enough in case you have a good experience of different agile approaches. Also, if you devote 2 to 3 hours in a continuous manner, then certainly you can do it. Basically, PMI ACP exam needs 100 to 150 hours of preparation when you have a good experience and you are able to relate uh, your experience with the content of the PMI ACP. So yes, you can do it.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you, Seema. And Manoj, if you have any follow-up questions, sorry, Raj, if you have any follow-up questions, you can ask again. And I'll just, there's one more questions we have from Jerry. So first, I would like to share my vision for that question. And then Janani, of course, I need your vision too. So it's a simple project management technique. Also, we divide the project into the small parts, what we do in VBS, the work breakdown structure, and the same is being done in the uh, form of sprint in Agile, I suppose. So, see, the my vision, and we'll discuss with the Janani also. If your purpose is solved with the VBS, there is no need to learn about the Agile team facilitation. Okay, but as I told this thing earlier also, when the company is working in a different frameworks and they're using the different approaches, and if you're working with the agile team and scrum team, they will talk more agile language, the scrum language. Okay, then the role of agile team facilitation and the knowledge of agile team facilitation comes in the picture. Okay, so if your purpose is solved with VBS, no need to go for the agile team facilitation. Janani, what is your vision on
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah. So, Jerry, I think a very important question, because this is the strategic difference between the traditional project management and agile. And thanks for asking that. First of all, yes, the project management, in a simple project management, or the way how we used to do work is, yeah, it's an amazing way of working. And I've been working as a project manager for a couple of years actually, without agile. Okay, but what has happened was the organization, the industry start making rapid changes. Okay, so it's not only about, so you brought a very important point, breaking the problem into small chunks is a very simple part of agile, where the importance of the ROI of agile is bigger. So it's not about only breaking in the problem into small pieces. It's about taking a creative process, as I mentioned. So we can't have these complex problems when we have like not simple like thing as like not or even complicated problem like making a car. Manufacturing a car, it still have a process, right? You still have a process. You know, if I have these ABC inputs, if I follow these steps in my manufacturing belt, I'm going to get a car there. But this is quite different to manufacturing or producing a vaccination for corona, right? You have to go many times the back and forth, and when you come up with a vaccination, your virus change right? How many times we went through, and you need to give another booster. Now I'm waiting for my third booster. Okay, how many changes we are going through? So we can't have that linear process. Okay, right? Certain complicated problems even can have a linear process. Even sending a rocket to moon, you still have a process. But where we can't rely on the process, where we have too many dynamics, where we don't understand the cause and effect, we need to go through an emergent process. That is what we call empirical process control. And that's where we have to not only breaking the items to small things, but working in small sprints, taking feedback. Feedback means giving something to the end users, either to use it or to at least see it and give real time feedback. So we build upon that feedback, right? So that's the bigger importance of agile. I hope, Kumkum, you agree with me here.
Kumkum, I would
Of
like to
course,
add
yes. You
something.
are the expert.
Yeah, so that's the
So
yeah. So I think that's what I feel
that's
the
actually the
difference.
I mean, amazing answer, and I think yeah, I'm also clear on this
Yeah,
point.
Kumkum, here I would like to add a couple of things
Yeah,
here.
please go ahead, Simran.
So yeah, so here Jerry is asking about that when work is divided in small pieces in work breakdown structure. So Jerry, here I would like to say that work breakdown structures defines all the deliverables of the project, right? So based on the priority, you take work for the next execution, or you can say for the next sprint. But when we talk about in the language of work breakdown structure, it seems like whenever what we want to do some changes, we have to follow the change management procedures, right? So here, when we talk about that, we need to raise a change request. It means changes are looked as an exceptional. But when we talk about user stories, product backlog, and all these things, means we expect that changes are natural, and whatever we are doing in next sprint, we after execution of those items, we will see that if we need some changes in the already identified deliverables, if we need some changes. So in that case, if you need change in the work breakdown structure, you need to follow the formal change procedures. But here, after the sprint, you do the sprint review meeting, and in during sprint review meeting, all the changes can be discussed and taken if they are important. That's what I wanted to add.
Yes.
Sounds great. Sounds great, Seema. Thank you very much for adding more on this content. And we have One last thing. My screen is blurry. Little Seema, can you read this question?
Yeah, so Zed is asking Scrum meetings where people meet based on plan and targets are given for completion. Same is being done in project management methods. Can't IT projects be solved by project management simple techniques? Yeah, this is the question. So yes, projects can be whatever problems you have, whatever solution you need to deliver, you can solve by using simple project management techniques. And if we talk about these techniques, even these techniques are adapting using different agile techniques. Like we need to see that what we need to change. Now it's all depend on the context of the project. If your scope is very clear, your requirements are very clear, and you have done such kind of projects many times, you don't need to uh, adapt agile approaches or agile techniques. Here the only thing we are talking about, that if we cannot freeze the project management plan till the project completion, then we need some tools and techniques which can help us to get along, to understand that if we are doing things in the right direction. We need to frequently validate our assumptions. So when we are doing project, we are taking many assumptions, and when we do assumptions, we need to validate frequently. So when we do need to do frequently, we need to adapt agile things also. So if and it is also quite possible that some part of your project is very clear, you don't need to see the things frequently, that if you are doing in the right way or not. So you can follow simple traditional methods, but some part of the project needs frequent validation. In that case, you need to meet with your stakeholders, with your business people, again and again, to see that what are their feedbacks, what they are feeling about it. Because sometimes your customers or stakeholders are also not aware of that, what exactly they want. When they see something developed, when they get a feel of it, then they get idea, yes, this is it what we want, or we need some changes. So it's all depend on the context of the project. So these agile tools and techniques are applicable anywhere where things are not certain, and we need to see the things frequently.
Thank you very much, Seema, for answering this and giving me question. So Seema raised the question about the tools and techniques, and Janani, that's my question, because see, we have last 7 minutes, and I have lots of questions. So at least this is the one important question I would like to ask you. So what are the tools and techniques of Agile Team Facilitation?
Yes. So tools and techniques, important point, but same time we need to know your focus is more about creating interactions, and tools and techniques will serve to create those interactions. So especially now we are learning new ways of connecting to people, right? New ways of connecting to people with this, especially with the COVID and all these challenges. So there are certain tools which will help you to do the collaboration, like Jamboards or Miro or Mural. There are many tools that you can use. So you can have the sticky notes, like online online platform. When you want to draw something, you can use the sticky notes and all these things. We have introducing certain tools like Jamboards, Miro. And if you want to take certain quick survey, right, or take a quick poll, you can either use Zoom. There are simple tools available in Zoom itself, or else you can take like a Mentimeter, right? And also when it comes to certain, not only tools but certain techniques or some templates, I love the liberating structures. It's certain techniques and templates help you to serve different purposes of meetings. right? How do you do a brainstorming? When you have a large group, how do you do that? When you have a small group without a clear understanding about even the problem, how do we help you to define the problem and go for solutions? So likewise, liberating structures is an important techniques that we will be talking about. In terms of tools, this Jamboard, Zamiro, and especially Zoom itself have many ways of doing things, right? So yeah, these are the things that we, talk about in Agile Team Facilitation.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds really great, Janani. And as we have last 5 minutes, so Seema, would you like to ask something?
Yeah. Okay, Janani, I have a question that this Scrum Master role is people oriented, highly people oriented, right? And the role of Scrum Master is to create a team which can produce results. So, how these facilitation skills are important for a Scrum Master?
Yeah. So we are coming to the cream of it. So as I mentioned, first of all, I'm going back to the initial discussion we had. Why we need to have a Scrum Master? Why? What is the existence? The purpose of existence of a Scrum Master is the performance of the team. Now, if you look at a cricket team, why would you have spend a lot of money and hire a cricket coach? Why not another batsman or another player? It's about the performance, right? So Scrum Master is the role, the purpose is to create performance. As I mentioned, performance will hardly come through compliance, like telling people, okay, this is what you have to do, this is how you should act, right? It comes through people making important choices. So Scrum Master as a facilitator, I'm talking about specifically on that role. Scrum Master is the one usually facilitate these Scrum meetings, whether it's sprint planning, review, retrospective. It's not about simply achieving targets. These meetings are not only to achieve targets. These meetings is about creating the transparency, giving opportunity to inspect and adapt, right? Sometimes you can have this all these meetings, right, we call for the namesake, right? You stand and ask these three questions, right? Let's take a simple example like daily Scrum. So you stand for 15 minutes and your developer says, yesterday I did this Jira ticket ABC, and then I did, today I'm going to plan to do the Jira ticket for 456, and I don't have impediments. Everyone says, no, I don't have impediments, because you have it for the name's sake, but there is no safety, there is no trust for the developers or anyone to say, no, I couldn't do that because I had this challenge. So moving from doing agile, so I brought a very simple example. Moving from doing agile to really be agile, facilitator plays a humongous role, I believe. So that's how it means. Yeah.
Great, Janani. So, what I understand that facilitation skills are very important for a Scrum Master, and Scrum Master need an access to improve these skills. So, how a Scrum Master can improve these skills, or any other role who wants to excel in the facilitation?
Yeah. So obviously mastering the skill, because as I mentioned, facilitation is an art, and every day you can improve this skill. First of all, learning is important through these kind of workshops, but that is not enough, because there are lots of facilitation techniques, and no matter you learn all the facilitation techniques, all the things could change. The environment, people change, people are diverse. So first thing is, of course, learning these skills, but then practicing, take the opportunity. Because if you look at the sprint retrospective or sprint review, all these things are for the Scrum team. Scrum Master is a facilitator. So in your meeting, even if you're today not a Scrum Master, because obviously if you're a Scrum Master you get that opportunity, but today if you're not a Scrum Master, thinking to be a Scrum Master or agile coach or a better person, better in these roles, take that opportunity. Bring more effort to design these sessions, and take that opportunity to conduct these sessions, facilitate these sessions, because I think it's something that you can really grow with the experience also. So learning and practicing is the key to that.
Thanks,
Sounds
Janani.
great. So, as we have last few seconds, so Seema, I think you were about to ask some things.
No. Actually, we have discussed that who should do and all. So Janani told that anyone
Yeah.
who is in some kind of leadership role, uh, even a senior developer who is uh, encouraging people to come up with the ideas, he also needs facilitation skills. So I was
Yeah,
curious who should
definitely.
do it.
Yeah. Definitely, Seema, because sometimes, like apart from these 5 ceremonies we talk, suppose your senior developer want to have a meeting with your team to decide what is the next design, best practices, or what is the next test automation framework that we are going to evaluate. Those are meetings, right? So still you need consensus, you still need commitments. So you need it.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds great. Janani, actually, I think this 1 hour is not enough. Okay, so you have to take out time once again and you have to join me once again. And remaining questions we'll discuss. And guys, anyways, me, Janani, Seema, we all are available on LinkedIn. And so you can, ask your questions there, or else we are available on emails also. You drop your questions at sales@izenbridge.com. If you have any questions related to Agile Team Facilitation, learning objectives, or if you want to know about the training program. So you'll get all the information, just sales@izenbridge.com. And so it's time to say bye, Janvi. But before saying bye, I would like to ask you any last minute thought, any message you would like to share with our visitors.
So what I want to say is a facilitation is a beautiful space for you to join. It's related to if you are willing to help people to create performance, help them to define their own potentials and create performance. This is an important skill and art, and you're going to really enjoy. It's not a big theory, but it's an art, like singing, dancing, like you enjoy it. It's an art that you would definitely enjoy. So yeah, join the space of facilitation. Yeah, and stay safe.
Yeah, guys. So yeah, stay safe and stay calm, and wish you a very happy Dussehra and Vijayadashmi, and happy weekend. Enjoy your weekend, and it's time to say bye. And we'll catch up again next Friday and with a new guest, and we'll discuss more about the trainings and what is the right path for you. And you can ask your questions. So, yeah. And for now, just bye. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Stay inside. Bye.
Bye. Thank you